Hello, my friends. Let's look at gold and silver for May 29th, 2021, 9:13 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. Just as a disclaimer and to make super clear, we are looking at the gold and silver futures contracts uh, price action for these dates. The, the price that you can buy the physical metal at is 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 based in part of this particular price. There's a little more to it. However, we're just going to kind of keep it simple for the time being. But just wanted to add that disclaimer that we're specifically looking at the futures contract pricing. And for gold, we see that on this last trading day, which was the 28th on Friday, a lot of selling came all the way down to here. But look at all this buying that came in, closing up here, making the body of this candle fully above the 1900 mark, and apparently looking that we're going to be building, could be building some base and some support right at that 1900 mark. Do you see how okay, we had back here we had these two really low bottoms, right? A bit of a W type of formation here, and it's been up ever since then. But this is what I want you to see. We went up, we went up a little more, and then we kind of went into the sideways range. We went up, kind of went into the sideways range. We went up, we went a bit into the sideways range, a little bit harder to see, but you can see the top here, kind of see the bottom here, right? Then it goes up, goes into a bit of a sideways range, and then it goes up. And are we going into a sideways range? It appears that it could be that. We are significantly above the 200-day moving average, and it looks pretty darn bullish still. Let's switch this daily chart to a weekly chart. The weekly chart, we see that here was our strongest candle, almost looking a bit like a doji, but the body of it being at the top of the full candle action, and then big somewhat of a wide range candle here. But notice the price action went all the way up here, but selling came down, brought it right under that 1880. For this week's candle, not as thick as this, but might it be something like this, where it wasn't a really impressive candle, but the next week had a wider range candle? You see, we have this, we're up against this resistance in the, or approaching this resistance in that starting to get into that sort of the mid 1900 range, 1925 or so, 1930, and then going forward. At the moment, things seem pretty bullish at the moment. Maybe it will take a little bit of time to play out, but at the moment it looks relatively bullish. Also, I believe Friday was the last day in the month. Oh, I just noticed this. Look at that volume, where the volume really spiked up. Even though there's this tremendous spike in volume, not a super big range of candle, but that's pretty impressive. I believe that that this was also the last day of the month. So we'll look at the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, looking pretty bullish. Looks like we had a bottom here. Bullish candle, super bullish candle. We took out the top of this, up against this resistance in here. Same, you know, talking about that 1920, mid 1900s, and starting to get closer. If we can get past this, if we can get through this kind of price congestion here, then we're going to be testing these 2000 area and possibly go higher. We'll go back to the daily chart and take a look at the line chart, which I think is not going to be too clean. Okay, we might. This looks like it's not the cleanest W, but it looks like a W there. Definitely our right hand side of the W, very much significantly higher. And it looks like our 20-day moving average is approaching this 200-day moving average, looking to break through. All things seem pretty bullish for the yellow metal. Let's take a look at silver. Silver, we seem to be in the sideways range at the moment. That should be pretty obvious to you. And even though it's been a bit choppier, it has done a bit of this go up, go sideways, go up, go sideways, go up, go kind of down, sideways. You know, take a look here where, see this candle, it dropped all, we're going sideways in this area. It drops down to this point. Wide range candle here, sells off to almost 50% of it, and then in the same area, like a little bit of a sideways, a little bit of a base there, shoots up, kind of drops down to, look at that again, about 50%, shoots up, and then comes all the way down here. But we're still sort of in this, if you look at this candle, similar to these ones in the past, we're still sort of, oh, right now we're in the top 25% of this candle, and it's kind of hanging out in this top 50%. So, oh, strong moving average, 20-day moving average moving up. The selling volume was really big here, but the overall volume seems to be somewhat consistent. This, I think, is a bit of a bullish sign that price action moved all the way down here, but the buyers came in and rallied it all the way up to here. Take a quick look at the line chart before we look at the weekly. Yeah, it's potentially a W. I mean, you can see that these points that just keep moving up. We are in a bit of a sideways range here. So once we see it break above this, going back to the same, what is that? Switch it back. All right, so I think right now, before we were kind of looking at that 2850, was it 2750? Yeah, we were looking at that range of 2750 to 2850. Now we're kind of in the middle, but we seem to be slowly, possibly moving up. Overall, in the next, let's say, at the moment, in the big picture, I'll be 100% honest with you. In the very big picture, I'm a silver fan. I'm a metal fan. I'm a gold fan. These futures contract pricing, it can kind of go up and down. But I'll tell you what, if you have an ounce of silver, you have an ounce of gold, this price action of a futures contract, somehow it stops being relevant. If you haven't already, like, consider trying it out. Purchase an ounce of gold or whatever increment of gold, whatever increment of silver. Hold it in your hands. Wrap your mind around how much weight you have versus what fiat currency value it has, and test that out for an investment strategy. See if you might like that. But at the moment, our price action for these futures contracts on the daily, yeah, I'm more leaning towards the bullish side on that price action. Let's take a look at the weekly. All right, seems to have, after this bullish candle, we had gone a little bit sideways, still a little bit in this range. Yeah, still same thing. We're pushing up towards the the upper limits of this resistance there, so it's looking more on the bullish side. The thing about these metals is that they're really volatile, and it seems like out of nowhere we can get some big sell-offs in there. So if you want a long-term investment, look into going with physical. If you for a trading vehicle, these are pretty fun in my opinion. Monthly, lots of volume, and again, the month, all these charts are basically showing us the same thing, that we're pushing up against this resistance, and if it keeps pushing up against this resistance, I think there's a chance it's going to break out. Plus, you may not know, but I think $50, around 50 bucks, is silver's all-time high. So we're about, roughly a little less than, a little more than halfway there. It's around that halfway mark. So this is an interesting asset to be playing with. Did we look at the line chart? Oh yeah, we looked at the line chart. All right, my friends, that's gold and silver for the week and month ending of May. If you guys want more conversation, more dialogue, and potential insight into either investing or trading in these with these particular assets and the particular derivatives surrounding these assets, then do two things for me. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and then send me a message. We'll have a conversation. We'll see if there's any synergies that we can work out. Possibly we can somehow work together. In the meantime, you guys have a fantastic day.